In a world filled with screens and distractions, we invite you to reconnect with the natural world around you. Welcome to Nature Bound, a podcast dedicated to unpacking the intrinsic bond between humans and nature. We'll uncover the benefits of spending time outdoors, including how a nature-centric lifestyle can improve your mental health, elevate your leadership skills, and unleash your creativity. And now here's your host, outdoor enthusiast, and renowned author of The 7 Principles of the Magic Rock, Emanuel Rose.
Welcome to this episode of Nature Bound. I've had a lot of requests to talk about my calendar for the year and how I determine what I'm going to do it and how I do it at all. And so I'm going to just run through the kind of my annual calendar and the rationale that I have and the process that I go through. The first thing is that, and one of the things I talk about in the 7 principles, in one of the critical principles, is scheduling time. And we know this from business, that in order to get things done, to get people in the same room, for instance, you got to schedule a time. Well, this is the same thing. We need to, I believe, and I prioritize the time to be outside, both with friends and family, and also trips and experiences by myself. And by myself means without other humans and without technology. So it literally is a space of opportunity to be disconnected from modern culture as much as possible. So what I do is I have a calendar for the year, and what I'm focused on is the seasons of the year. So both looking at temperature and location, and then also which season it is in order to hunt and fish. And so the first thing is, we'll just look at it in terms of the calendar year. And for me, the year starts in September, right around Labor Day. And that first trip of the year is, first official trip, is a steelhead fishing trip on the south coast of Oregon. And I do that with some friends every year. And it is an amazing opportunity to disconnect for a week. No work. It's pretty warm, and it's easy camping, and we get outside. But it's on the calendar, and it's a set time. After that, in September, then there's some more fishing trips and camping, and then also that's usually when I head north to Canada to go and start waterfowl hunting, first trip of the year, and also a little bit of upland hunting on that trip. Also, I have some friends that I hunt with, and we tend to camp out. It's not super wild camping, but it's rural camping, and so that's September. We got dates that then bleed into October, and that's the traditional start on the West Coast. Kind of middle October is the traditional starting time for upland bird hunting, and so then there is some time for that, and then also the late fall or mid fall steelhead fishing, and so I have that on the calendar also. November, continue with the upland hunting, and for that time of the year, it starts to get cold out on the West Coast, and so I have a little bit heavier gear. Also on that one, I will bring my Starlink so I can get some work done during that time also, and spend some time camping, hunting, and working, and on the West Coast. And then December starts to get cold. I get home, maybe bunker in and enjoy the four walls and comfort of the roof. And then that's usually when we'll start waterfowl hunting, as well as getting really focused on chucker hunting. And then January we will look at I'll look at getting out after waterfowl, continuing to chucker hunt. February I'll have a trip where I go steelhead fishing, and it just depends what the water flows are, and where we'll go for that, where I'll go for that. Sometimes I'll rent a yurt and kind of camp out in a yurt, or I will in the winter also get some fishing cabins rented because it's pretty wet and ugly. March is when the weather starts to get easier, and camping is starting to be a reality again. I've been fishing Pyramid Lake in western Nevada, and that is a spot where I can camp easily by myself or with family. And then also I'll start trout fishing and scouting for turkeys, and I can do that at the same time in California. The weather's starting to get good, and so I like to start camping then. April is turkey hunting. May is starting to warm up, and then I can camp and fly fish on the beginning of the bug hatches, some salmon flies and other big flies that get the trout in a frenzy. June, July, August, those are typically pretty hot out here on the West Coast, but I like to get in a sturgeon fishing trip and touch some of those dinosaurs, and a little catch and release for the sturgeon, and then also smallmouth in some Oregon rivers. And so that's prime camping weather, some good trout fishing, and then really good warm water fishing. So we got those dates on there, and then we wrap around into August, where I start scouting for steelhead fishing, and to see how that season is going to develop. So that is the 12-month calendar. Starts in September. A number of those trips, probably 8 or 9 of those trips, are hard coded into my calendar, and I schedule everything else around it. And then there also are spaces of opportunity that come up where there's days or weekends where I can get out and do things that are unscheduled as well. But the critical part is blending time with friends and family on some of these trips, and spending some of these trips by myself, so I can continue to think about and plan my life with the support of the wind in the trees and the sound of the river in the background. So I encourage you to sit down and look at the calendar and put some dates onto your calendar where you're going to either invite people to go and take a trip outside, or where you're going to plan for yourself a time, a weekend, renting a campsite or finding a trailhead that you want to explore and get yourself nature bound. So leave some comments for me. Let me know what you think, and I appreciate you taking the time to listen to the calendaring of my time being nature bound.
Thanks for listening to this episode of Nature Bound. Be sure to subscribe wherever you heard this podcast so you never miss a future episode. If you found value in today's episode, please share with someone who needs to hear it. Be sure to purchase your copy of the 7 Principles of the Magic Rock at emanuelrose.com or on Amazon. We thank you again for joining us today, and remember to get nature bound.